Can music remind you of who you are? Can it be a guide to bring you back to yourself when you're lost? Because that's what I need right now. I am not feeling like myself lately. I wake up almost every day with knots of anxiety tied up tight in my chest. I can't decide on anything. I sit at my desk, staring at my laptop, asking myself over and over what to do in a day, where to go this summer, what music to listen to, what topics to write about. I'm overthinking everything, and this is not me. The past 6 months of stress in both my work and personal life have eaten me up and turned me into a Savannah that I don't even recognize. Who am I? I think my mind needs a change of scenery, a reminder of my soul. Should I go to Ireland? A Greek island? What about Vienna? Should I just stay in Athens and suck it up? Should I take a cargo ship across the Black Sea? I'm gonna take a cargo ship across the Black Sea. It's Friday at just after 3:15, 3:30, something like that. And I just got my ticket for the ferry. I'm super excited. We're in the middle of the Black Sea. There's nothing as far as we can see on either side. No trace of shore. Just the Black Sea, truckers. Oh. The French cyclist, the guy in the hammock. The German family. That's the sound of the Black Sea waves against the ship. Woohoo! Amazing. Welcome back to another episode of Music on the Move. I'm your host, Savannah Fortis, and today I'm bringing you a story that started with an impromptu journey with no plans and ended in a village where nearly everyone sings. This is a story of how I stumbled upon folk music in the mountains of southern Georgia, which we'll get to later, and also a story about how music brought me back to myself this summer in the most unexpected way. But first, we need to get there, and we do so via cargo ship. 3 nights on the Black Sea from Burgas, Bulgaria to Batumi, Georgia. It's Tuesday night, and I call up my good friend Eric and ask, is it crazy if I get on a bus to Bulgaria on Thursday and then on a cargo ship on Friday and sail across the Black Sea for 3 nights? This was a trip I had in my mind for years. A wild idea that was seeded by staring at maps for too long and being way too curious about the world. However, I had always put it off, thinking I needed tons of time, which I never seem to have, and much more preparedness than I'm usually willing to give. Yet, somehow in my season of most undecidedness, I decide on a whim that the time is now. Eric reassures me. No, it's not crazy at all. Do it. Those knots in my chest start to loosen a bit. On the map it looks so small. On the map you're very aware of everything that encloses the Black Sea: Ukraine, Russia, Georgia, Romania, Bulgaria, Turkey. But when you're actually on a ship sailing across it, and you're just a little human in the world, you are reminded how big everything is and how small you are, and that it takes days to cross this thing that you can just skim your finger across on a map. And I like that perspective sometimes. I like that perspective on the problems in my life. I love all the random people you meet. Yeah. You know, sometimes journeys just come at you and you gotta take them. I've had this journey in my mind for years. And on Tuesday, something just said go. And I'm really glad I went. I'm really glad I came. I'm really glad I'm here. And that was that. 3 nights and 3 days sailing across the Black Sea. I met brawny truckers moving goods from Europe into Russia and Central Asia, ate fantastic meals of borscht and broiled chicken, banded together with the entire ship to watch Georgia play in the Summer Euro Cup series, chatted with my fellow travelers about life, finished a book about Black Sea history, and more than anything else, I stood on the deck with my arms crossed, doing nothing but staring out into the horizon and listening to waves for hours. By Monday morning, my 2 feet are on land again in the Georgian port city of Batumi. I arrive with no plan and not even an idea of what my time in Georgia will look like, or even how long I'll stay. I want to keep the spirit of spontaneity that I started the trip with and not overthink a thing. I want those knots in my chest gone. The only thing I did do before boarding the ship 3 days prior was book myself a room in Batumi for a night. I thought it'd be helpful to regain my land legs and orient myself to the new place. After that, I thought I could do whatever I wanted. Whatever it is I'll end up doing, I don't want to think about it at all and just go. So I sit down at a cafe and pull up my laptop and stare. The first thought that comes to mind is that I don't know much about the folk music of Georgia. A very Savannah thought. I know that Georgia has a very rich polyphonic vocal tradition, but that's about it. So I Google polyphonic singing in Georgia. The anticipated results populate the first couple pages. Wikipedia overviews, Georgian music institutes and conservatories, tourist information websites, and folk archives. I keep scrolling. On the 3rd page of my Google search results, I find it. A 5-year-old article by a Georgian journalist titled "Georgian Village Where Nearly Everybody Could Sing." Something moved in my chest. A bit of hope, maybe, of something I didn't realize I'm looking for, but now realize might be exactly what I'm after. The article reads, "Probably not many people have heard about the village Marisi in the Keda municipality, but our countries should be proud of it. Many people from all over the world come to stay in Jamal Turmanizdeh's family hostel, and during their holidays they learn Georgian folk songs. This story started not long ago with the arrival of Nino Razmazde, a young graduate of conservatory with a master's degree in music who came to the village Marisi to study folk songs and was astonished by the musical abilities of the villagers. Nearly everyone could sing in the village." Jamal Turmanizdeh. The name echoes in my head. I want to know more, so I search Jamal Turmanizdeh. Facebook videos of groups of men singing Georgian polyphonic songs populate my screen. A few search pages in, I'm now on the website for the municipality of Keda and find Jamal's contact information. I pop it into WhatsApp. "Hello, Jamal. My name's Savannah Fortis. I'm a music journalist making stories for my podcast about music from all over the world. I'm in Georgia this week, and I heard you were the guy to talk to about polyphonic music. Hope to hear from you soon." Send. A message from Jamal. "Hi. Jamal and I exchange messages via broken English and Google Translate, and in no time at all, Jamal tells me that his singing group is scheduled to meet and rehearse tomorrow at the village community center. Some of the guys are coming up from Batumi by car. They can pick you up," he says. "Also," he tells me, "my wife and I run a guest house in the village. You can stay at it if you'd like." I'm in. I slam my laptop shut. Tomorrow I'm going to Marisi with Jamal's singing buddies to hear some Georgian polyphonic music. I don't know what this means in actuality. I don't know anything else about Marisi, who these people are, where I will stay, or for how long, or what this means for my trip, but everything feels right. This feels right. There are no knots in my chest, no second thought that this is what I should be doing on my trip, and not only that, but in general. This is what I should be doing. This is what Savannah should be doing. After an hour's drive with Jamal's friend Otto, who picked me up in the morning, We arrive in the small village of Keda, which rests on the bank of a river just below Jamal's village Marisi, both of which are located in the Adjara region of southwestern Georgia. Adjarians are a distinct ethnographic group in Georgia whose traditions blend local Georgian influences with those from their historical ties to the Ottoman Empire. The region is famous for its sing-songy dialect and vibrant polyphonic singing traditions, something Jamal's family is actively keeping alive. Otto parks the car and I step out to face the Keda Cultural Center. The building is out of another era, semi-crumbling with the Soviet-style washed-out mural on the front and a hollowed-out inside with not much in terms of furnishings. I jog up the stairs behind Otto and peek my head over his shoulder as we push our way into the auditorium. It's a resonant space with a raised wooden stage outlined by thick, berry-colored curtains. Just beneath it is our group of guys. All stand in unison and shake my hand with a firm kindness that I encountered many times in the burly men of Georgia. Jamal steps forward with his humble smile and introduces both himself and his son Besso, who must be in his early 30s. He tells me I can record the rehearsal, and after that his son will be available to me to answer any questions I have about the group or the songs. I race to set up my recorder, but before I even have time to press a button, the men form their crescent shape and bellow out the first tune. Besso explains that the Adjarian polyphonic singing tradition runs deep in their family history. He tells me about songs and stories being passed down by their ancestors, which adds a level of reverence to their singing, almost like bearing the torch to a multi-generational identity. He explains how every region in Georgia has its own distinct dialect and special take on traditional polyphonic music. It becomes very clear to me that these people, at least in their cultural identity, know exactly who they are. Their songs tell the story of their history, songs about marriages, saving of local grape varieties from foreign intruders, love songs, and one about the local hero, the Georgian Ali Pasha, which recounts a time when the Adjara region was under Ottoman control. These people have their identity cemented in stone through their songs, through their own voices that resonate from somewhere deep inside of their being and out into the ears of not only those around them in their own village, but to all of Georgia. Their groups travel to bigger cities throughout the country to present concerts and even, as Besso After the rehearsal, Jamal and I hop in his 4x4 and twist our way up tiny dirt roads that lead from Kedah into Marisi. As we inch closer to his guest house, I have two thoughts as the car rattles. The first has been constantly on repeat since I arrived, of how absolutely stunning this place is with its overflowing greenery and constant birdsong. The second becomes more apparent as the roads become smaller and we climb higher. Man, I'm lucky these are good people, or else I'd be in trouble. There's no way I could get out of here alone. But I don't think it was luck, because I followed the music, as Savannah always does. I followed my heart to get here. I count it as a total blessing to have stumbled across Jamal and Marisi, and because of that, I really want Jamal to teach me at least one of their songs. I want him to teach me Merisuli. My days with Jamal are filled with walks in the lush mountainsides, eating homemade breads and yogurt and jams and the most rich dinner spreads prepared by his wife Manana, petting a baby cow named Elpite, messing around with Jamal's various instruments, and daily lessons of polyphonic songs.
Merisuli. Re ri vo re ra hari re o na ni na vda ho vo re ra ri ra vo re ra hari re o na ni na vda ho. Two times. Ho vo re ra ri ra vo re ra hari re o na ni na vda ho. It's good.
Jamal jumped into teaching me his songs in ways I was used to from previous experience, by just starting to sing. At first, I'm preoccupied with the foreign wording and juggling all three voices at once, but very quickly I find my place.
O re ra ri ra vo re ra ho de li e na ni na vda ho. Ho re ra ri ra vo re ra ho de li e na ni na vda ho. Yes. Good. Lamaz.
Fun.
One afternoon, Jamal's friend and neighbor, Saza, joins us at the table where we are having our lesson. Saza tells me, as best as he could, that he doesn't really sing, but has always meant to learn. Jamal invites him over to our lesson, and our three-part harmony is now complete.
Ho re ra ri ra vo re ra ho de li e na ni na vda ho. Ho re ra ri ra vo re ra ho de li e na ni na vda ho.
Here we are, singing in harmony on Jamal's terrace, overlooking the valley beneath Marisi, surrounded by sun and singing birds. My chest is open and my voice free to blend with the moment. This is who I am. I am someone who goes where their heart tells them to go without a second thought, even if that's across seas and mountains just to sing songs with strangers. There's no place and nothing else I would rather be doing now or ever. Those knots of anxiety in my chest are long gone. But one thing I notice as I sing with the low voices of Jamal and Saza: where are the women? I hadn't seen any women singers in Jamal's choir, nor did I see any women in the books Jamal showed me, which had vintage photos of the singing groups from the Marisi area. I knew of Georgian polyphonic women's choirs and songs, but maybe this varies from place to place. Are women excluded from the singing tradition in Marisi? Jamal told me that in their village, the men were traditionally the ones singing in the choirs, and the songs were, quote, more suited to male voices. However, his eyes light up. There is a new women's choir that was created for the women of this village, he says. We'll organize something with them tomorrow, a rehearsal, so you can meet them. The next morning, I grab my recorders and Jamal and I hop in his 4x4 and bounce down the dirt roads toward the schoolhouse in Kedah, just below Marisi. It is warm and the birds are already busy with their own songs. Sun fills the open hallways of the school building as we arrive. A few members of the women's choir greet us as we wait for the others. Jamal introduces me first to someone who appears to be the youngest member of the choir, a girl named Katie. Katie is in her early 20s and the only one of the group who could speak some English. Katie will do an interview with you, Jamal says. I look at Katie, who gives me a little grin, and we walk out into the garden of the school. Sitting underneath grapevines, Katie tells me the story of the women's choir. The choir started up around 2 years ago, singing songs from Marisi and the greater Ajarian region. Katie says they learn, quote, many things to sing at concerts and to be able to pass on to their children so that, in her words, they can pass it on to their children. When I ask about previous generations of women singers, according to Katie, women in the area only sang in the home and not out in public.
In the past they wanted to sing, but it was shame in the public to sing. Women didn't have many behaviors to laws. And they it was shame to sing in the public or concerts. And now that's changed, of course, and it is it wasn't shame now, and they can sing free.
And how do you feel about it?
I like it. I like it because in my family members also all can sing, and I was singing in my childhood, and I am happy to sing now that folk songs. I think I live in the past when I sang these songs. I love very much, and I think I am zero without it. I am nothing without folk songs.
Then I ask Katie if she has any favorite songs to sing, and apparently we have something in common. In moments, Katie and I are harmonizing to Merisuli in the garden. Unlike singing with Jamal and Saza, my and Katie's voices fit together so easily. It is delicate and sweet, and a sonic memory to have forever. By the time we finish, the rest of the women are waiting for us inside. Katie introduces me to everyone, and similar to my experience with the men's group, before I even have time to set up my recorder, they begin with Merisuli. serious approach to the song, but the women are slower, tender, and still learning the piece. Though all their moments of learning and hiccups add to the charm of their rendition. After they finish, Jamal gives them some pointers on the piece, and then the ladies show me a lullaby they've been working on for a while. I asked Katie to ask the women what it means to them to sing these songs. One woman responds that she has loved these songs from her childhood and now loves being able to sing them together. Another woman chimes in saying that she could not live without singing. I agree. Another woman says that she's happy it's now a period where she can sing freely everywhere. Mana, Marina, Nona, Zamira, and Katie singing together in their group isn't only imprinting the Marisulian identity of the past into their hearts and the hearts of their children, it's also paving a future identity where truly everyone can sing. Their music and songs ensure that these people always have a way of not losing pieces of who they are. In a time where I needed to be reminded of who I was and of my free, unbounded, unbridled spirit so inherent to the way I operate, a cargo ship, leaving from Bulgaria across the Black Sea, took me to Georgia, where I serendipitously ended in a singing village in which everyone sang to reinforce who they are, in turn, helping me do the same thing. So yeah, music can remind you of who you are. It can also help you understand who you're becoming. Such was the case with the women of the Marisi Choir. Music on the Move is always looking to explore larger-than-life themes in microdoses, with music and sound as our tools. We use them to understand the world around us, and sometimes this includes understanding ourselves. I'm Savannah Fortis, and that was Music on the Move. I have so many people to thank for this episode: Jamal, Manana, Katie, everyone I encountered in Marisi, Eric for all the brainstorming. If you enjoyed the episode and you're hungry for a little more, check out the Music on the Move website, where I've uploaded photos from the trip and extended versions of some of the songs that you heard in this episode. For further listening, check out our Spotify playlist. Thank you so much for joining me on yet another journey. Stay tuned for more, and until then, keep your ears open, listening, and exploring. This episode of Music on the Move was brought to you by me, Savannah Fortis, with the Music on the Move theme song composed by Daphne Farazi.